Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about the good cause. So we see a lot of people supporting all kinds of different movements and agendas. We want people to give more money to the poor and to fight poverty. We have people supporting cancer research. We have people who want to fight pollution and climate warming. We have people who are against wealth inequality. We have people who are against the abuse of animals. We have so many different kinds of things to stand for, and it's interesting to see how people get into these kind of things. For example, if you have someone who is fighting for supporting cancer research and you look at them and their life, and most likely something happened. Either someone close to them got cancer, some family member, friend, maybe even themselves, or they heard something tragic, something happened to them, and then they were like, wow, this is horrible. I'll do whatever I can to support cancer. Same way someone who's against plastic pollution and wants to fight global warming, maybe they went out to the sea one day and they saw a plastic bottle floating and they were like, wow, this is horrible. We have to stop this. We have to do something. Or someone who been to the slaughterhouse and looked at the cruelty done to the animals and they were like, this is horrible, we have to make this stop. Or someone who's actually worked in the political office and saw the corruption going on in there and the wealth inequality, and they were like, this is messed up profoundly, we need to do something about this. All of these are goals that I think are very well worth standing for, but I'm always kind of thinking about how interesting it is that we choose like one thing, because clearly all of these things deserve support and all of these things are issues that we should fight for and stand for. But it's interesting how people approach them and tend to get into them from a really personal perspective. There's always some story behind it. There's someone who fights for schizophrenia, wants to donate money to schizophrenia research. Well, their father or mother had schizophrenia and they were like, this is a horrible disease. What I'm saying is this is sort of near-sighted, tribal and kind of personal way to look at this. I'm not saying absolutely anything wrong about this, because I think we need more people to support all of these kind of things. And of course you can't just support all of these things. You can't give your money to all of the causes because you wouldn't have any money left to live simply. But I think we can approach it in a different way. And I think we can support all of these things. There is something called effective altruism, and essentially what it is that you look at the world and you look at it objectively, not personally what's happened to you. You went to some village and saw some poor starving family, now you want to help them. Not like that, but you look at the world from an objective point of view, and you look at the people and everything on it, and you look what are the biggest problems, what are the most biggest challenges and issues that we're facing, and for every dollar amount spent, what is the most good I can do? And this is effective altruism. This is, I don't care about anything personal thing that happened to me or whatever. I just want to do the most good that I can. So one example of an effective altruist would be Bill Gates. They have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they do all kind of projects that help the most people for the smallest amount of money. So it's like the question, would you want to spend $80,000 for some American citizen to have a heart transplant, or do you want to use this $80,000 to help like 1,000 people in a village somewhere in India and Africa? There is clearly some kind of choice that we have to make. What is more valuable? If all lives are equally valuable, then we should choose the Indian village. If all lives are valuable, then it's quite clear what choice we need to make. So I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just something that I noticed, how people approach these kind of movements from a really personal and tribal viewpoint. I think there is so much that we need to fix, and there's so much going on in our world that maybe just focusing on one thing is a bit short-sighted. I think in a way it works, because there are people working on all of these things and supporting all of these causes. And like I said before, like we couldn't just support everything all the time. We just don't have enough energy and time in our lives to make a meaningful impact. So maybe a way is to focus on one thing and to give all your energy there and do it that way. But for me personally, I guess my point is that I just couldn't pick and choose this kind of battle. I guess possibly if something would happen, maybe something would drive me, if something would happen to my family, or I would personally see something, maybe that would drive me to somehow want to make a difference in one specific field. But in general, I guess that's just what I wanted to share, this kind of idea of how does it really make sense to choose one particular kind of field to focus on. So I guess that's all that I'm saying. So I hope you got some ideas from it. If you have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.